From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I don't know why, but you are.
What's going on, nerds? It's kind of deja vu here. I know you just saw us about maybe a half hour ago, but we're talking to somebody very special, somebody very much in the nerd community. We're talking to Corissa Grant of Worthy Chaos Comics. And I'm excited for this because as a horror baby, a very horror baby, I really love these comic books. And before we get into it, hi, Susie.
Hi.
How's your ice cream? That I'm very jealous.
My ice cream is great. How's the horror baby doing?
Well, I very much enjoyed this better than any of the movies I've seen recently for Nerdtober.
Now, wait, hold on. I got two stories for Corissa.
Oh, nice. Dear.
Involving my horror baby.
Oh, this isn't going to be good.
So, I have a bearded dragon.
Nice.
And one of the first years that we ever did Nerdtober, my couch, the back of it, was in front of the lizard cage. I have a timer set on this lizard cage. We're in the middle of watching Pet Sematary. The lizard cage goes off. I have never seen this man jump so high.
Yeah.
I can totally picture that.
I'm at the ceiling because we're watching Pet Cemetery and there's a pet behind me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna die now."
Oh,
I
yeah.
apparently forgot to warn him that the light was gonna go out.
You did that on purpose. Don't you lie. Don't you dare lie.
My second favorite story from Nerdtober is last year we watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was trying to get AJ's attention, so I'm sitting there going like this to his elbow.
Nice.
Yes, because Freddy Krueger with those long claws, and you're just like,
That is actually the first movie I ever saw when I was 6. The horror movie
God. Oh
is
God.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors.
Mine was The Messengers, and I've still never seen it again.
Well, my first scene that I saw, I was hiding from the stairs. It was the heroin scene where he's using the veins as a marionette.
Mhm.
For some reason, I thought I was fascinated by that. And then my second movie was Cujo, which was not as fun because when you go to the park and there's a giant, muddy, wet Saint Bernard running towards you, you don't find it as funny when it's on TV.
No. No.
Yeah, I
Not
never
as much.
so fast.
I
Yeah.
understood that reference. I'm happy for myself there. So, Carissa, you're new to the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. Tell everybody at home and watching on either YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, who are you?
I am Corissa Grant. I started making comic books 8 months ago, and somehow have 6 issues. Well, actually 7 issues done. 6 is live right now. And I was a role player for 15 years before I started writing the story. I role played as Claire Redfield from Resident Evil 2. And that is actually how I became a writer. Is got obsessed with Resident Evil 2, became a role player, and then haven't stopped writing since. So, and being dyslexic, that was quite a feat. Yeah, dyslexic club. But yeah, no, I started as a one-liner because I was dyslexic, and now I can't even imagine I can't even understand how one-lining works. That's how long it's been. Now my chapters are like 6,000 words in a day or something, like nothing. I wrote 2,000 words in an hour the other day, and that was like totally out there. So, I've been writing the story with a co-writer, and we passed the 1 million word mark in this story like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, like that.
No
So,
kidding.
yeah.
So I have a lot of reading to do apparently. Because
Yes.
I really, you were nice enough to send us the first 2 chapters of Redemption, and I read them again before we got going. Like, I sent them to Susie, and she's like, I need 3, 4, 5, 6. I need them all. How? And it was funny. It was funny because we were doing the earlier show with her husband, who's right behind her, and I heard her still reading them again. I need more. How?
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're I have to say, and I'm biased, mind you. I obviously love reading them. I read them over and over again. I've never been so obsessed with anything in my entire life. I always say I'm addicted to the obsession. That's how bad this obsession is. We have for this series complete series 1, there's 50 issues already written to complete it. And then there's another 45 issues already written for the spinoff. And then we started series 2 for both those. So there's over 100 issues written already for this. And to clarify a little bit, for the people that don't know, so I'm the writer, the initial writer, and I write everything for Serafina. My co-writer writes everything for Draven, the speech and thoughts and everything. So when you're reading this and you're reading the speech bubbles or the thoughts bubbles, it's actually 2 different people.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, so you have this unique, I never write for Draven and my co-writer never writes for Serafina. So it gives them the unique personalities, and you can clearly tell who's who because my character talks way more than she thinks, which would be me. And my co-writer Draven thinks way more than he talks. And that's very accurate because when we're together, I don't even know how my co-writer puts up with it because I never shut up. So yeah, and they're super quiet, but it gives that uniqueness to it. And it's kind of fun. We do have thought bubbles. It's not like the old time, like they're like, oh, thought bubbles were so retro. In the old comics, they were exposition. You know, it wasn't like getting into their head. But ours came from a novel because we wrote them first. So you're actually getting into the characters' heads. You're getting to know what they feel and they think, because the I used to love watching movies, and then I'd love reading the books to find out what they were thinking about during that time or what they were doing. So it's kind of fun, and you get that internal struggle. Like, you haven't read
Yeah.
issue 5, you have to read issue 5. Issue 5, you have poor Draven having this such internal struggle to kind of talk to Seraphina, to kind of tell her, you know, how he feels and everything, and he can't. The most romantic my character gets is, please don't leave. You know, that's about it. After a struggle of 3 pages of how do I tell her how I feel, I know how I feel, blah blah blah, it's like, just don't leave. And she's like, okay. So that's as romantic as my story gets. But yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and stuff going into that. And you know, as you know, it's got a lot of nonstop chaotic action going on, which we're known for. And in my defense, it is in the title. So
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much.
yeah, but no, you need to read more. Yeah.
I'm usually stuck with the mangas they usually hand me, and that's usually what I read, because I kind of, you know, have a pain in the ass about buying comics. But what, Susie?
Unless it's audiobook.
That's also true. I love audiobooks. I love audio dramas. Audio dramas are a blast, mostly because you're hearing everything and you could picture it, you just can't actually see it. But where did you come up with the idea for the redemption story arc?
So for this series, it actually started really weird. So I did a lot of research for this, for all the characters. All the demons and the angels are very accurate to how scripture was. And it's not that I was religious, I was just curious. And I don't know how it came about, but I learned about Ramel, which is this angel that judges the souls on earth to bring them to heaven. And for some stupid reason, my mind was like, what does he do, carry this in his pocket? Like, I'm like just thinking, like, what is, you know? So I created the angelic weapon, which is my logo.
Yeah.
And it holds the power of souls. And that's what Seraphina was created from. And that's what, you haven't read 3 yet. I'm gonna have to send you these. Their fathers appear in 3. So you have his father. So Seraphina is an angel descendant, and her father is an angel, and Draven is a demon descendant, and his father's a demon. And the two of them are the ones that are setting all this up. And you find this out in 3, and they're throwing everything at our poor characters. Asmund, the demon that's for Draven's dad, he sends hellhounds at them, and he merged the whole place with hell to bring up the zombies, the zombie mermen, and all that stuff. And her father brings out Anubis. You'll see in 3, he's holding a remote control that says Anubis on it, and it's controlling Anubis to do what he wants to do. So their whole thing is to try to get Seraphina and to get the soul weapon from her, because it'll tip the scales of heaven and hell. However, there's another reason that the father wants it, which he hints at it, but you're not going to find out for a long time. And I get trouble for spoilers, so I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Don't want those.
Yeah.
Don't want those. Don't want those.
Yeah. So the whole thing started just from that one angelic weapon, which is an idea that I held on to for 11 years before I found my co-writer. And then I was like, oh, you want this role? And my co-writer's like, I don't take roles. Yes, I do. So we've been writing ever since. It's gonna be 3 years, September 22nd, since we thought up Seraphina and Draven.
Holy cow. Wow, that sounds like Susie when I was like, hey, I'm starting a podcast, so I'm your co-host, right?
That wasn't even the question. It was, I ran with it.
Yeah.
You did more than run with it. Holy shit. So
Yeah.
let's get into.
I
well,
actually
what do
have
you
a
got?
question about the religious aspect.
Yeah.
Is it one religion, or did you kind of mix
All of them.
religions? Because like I saw, like, I heard you say Anubis, so like I'm thinking Egyptian, and then I'm hoping I get to see some Greek in there.
So series 1 is pretty much Christianity and Anubis. However, in series 2, the war breaks out. So you have heaven and hell against Anubis and his army of mummies. You have Hecate and Hades, which is they have the zombie army. And then you bring in the Celtic and the rest of the Greeks. And yes, you will have everyone fighting to either attack my poor characters or to be on their side. My characters do not like being in the army with the mummies and the zombies because they've been fighting those damn things for the whole time. But I mean, you know, when Hecate's Hades and a giant dog-like creature comes up to you and tells you that they're on your side, you pretty much will just go on with them. So,
yes, okay, got it. What's next?
And all I'm hearing is Hades voiced by James Woods, so I'm all content in the world.
You know what?
Oh, who blew up my hair?
Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, there's a lot of I love Greek mythology. I love Celtic mythology, but Greek has always been my favorite. And a lot of people don't know Hecate as it is. I mean, she's become more popular lately.
She's such a small goddess.
I know, but you know, she's actually in every religion.
Mhm.
Like she's in every single one. So she's, I mean, you know, and she actually teaches my character witchcraft because she's the goddess of witchcraft, and she tries to help her fight a little bit more. And our more in the spin-off, but their powers do start to come out a little bit more and more without them realizing it. In the spin-off, they never lose their powers because they never separate. In this one, you know how they're separated for 10 years, they think each other's dead.
Yep.
She trains as a supernatural hunter, he trains as an assassin. In the spin-off, it's like a what if. So before the parents are killed, they actually run away together. And so now you have these two teenagers that don't know supernatural exist. They don't have any training. They're not assassins. They're not fighters, and they're on the run with all the same things after them. And it was started as a joke, and 45 issues later, we have a really awesome story. So we're hoping to release that eventually too, because it's really cool to see these characters turn into these wussy teenagers to like these kick-ass characters.
That was a hell of a way to open up chapter 1 with,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, your parents are dead.
Yeah, your parents are
Run.
slaughtered. Yeah. My favorite is when she like calls up Draven and says, "Don't come here," and the first thing he does is go there. And
Yeah. Hi, we're the FBI. How are you?
yeah. And I'll give you a little a hint. That the Davies guy that's there,
Yeah.
he framed him to do all that. So they set them all up. But he's actually worse than any angel or demon ever. And he becomes a lot later on. You'll see him, but he's like a human and he's ruthless. Like he's worse than like anyone. Like we made the human like the most worst character that there possibly could be.
At least with angels and demons, you know what you're getting for. You're going for. Humans are the most unpredictable pieces of animals you'll ever meet. They could be the best or worst, and shit.
Yeah, he's got that like professional calm where you're terrified of him and you don't particularly know why until you just like there's this I can't even talk about it but in issue in book 2 he does the most ruthless thing, but he's so calm about it. He's just like, okay, I killed him. Like it's just like this like simple thing. He's just like drinking, you know, a glass of whiskey and he's like, all right, we're all gonna die. Like it's just like
game over.
Yeah, game over. But Davies is Draven's boss and trained him as an assassin. So that there's a lot that happens. Like so issue 6 is current now. It has my version of vampires. So I call them a subspecies, so no one yells at me. But it is a subspecies of vampires called clotters. Their heart beats only once every 6 hours, just enough to keep off rigor mortis. It gives them really thick clotted blood, which makes them a lot stronger. And to be honest with you, the only reason why that came about is because in every vampire movie, you cut them, they bleed, and they have no heartbeat, so they should not be bleeding. So I gave them their one heartbeat every 6 hours. But because of this extra thick blood, they can only feed directly from a human. They can't feed from a blood bag. They can't feed from an animal because there's not enough protein. So if they don't feed from a human, they start to deteriorate like a zombie. So because of this, our vampires have souls when you know, it's not like Buffy where they have no soul or nothing. So when you turn them into a vampire, they have to literally kill a human to survive, and a lot of them won't do it. So to keep the subspecies going, they would turn the most ruthless people. So you have serial killers and murderers and all of this to keep the species going. But the worst trait is if they bite you or taste your blood, they can track you anywhere you go like a homing beacon. And if you kill one of them, the entire nest will track you down and not stop till they kill you. Now, I don't know if you know regular mythology, but vampires didn't get hurt in the sun in the regular mythology. So ours can go in the sun. They do not usually, but when revenge comes, they'll go wherever they want to go. They will not be stopped. Garlic doesn't stop them. I'm not even sure where that myth came from. And yeah, you don't have to invite them in or anything. So our vampires are incredibly ruthless.
And
Sounds
they
like
don't
it.
sparkle.
And they don't sparkle. Like, come on. And they're not romantic at all. But yeah, so
I was waiting for that one, and then she
yeah,
boom, there it is.
yeah. So in issue 4, we're introduced to Clotters, and in issue 4, they start out in a bar fight, and you can see that my characters kick ass. You know, like they're beating up everybody, and they're having a grand old time. And then at the end of the book, they totally get their ass beat by Clotters, just to show you the extent of how strong these Clotters are.
Yo.
So, yeah, so they get involved with them in 4 and 5, and in 6 now they are having to go track down the nest before they come and find them. So they're stuck going after, they don't know how many's in there. There could be 5, there could be 500. So 6 is all about them going down and trying to track down all the vampires and deal with that. And the only way to kill them is to really is to cut off their heads. You can set them on fire, but it takes so long for them to burn down that you might as well just chop off their head. So that's issue 6, and that's what's live now on Kickstarter. We've already funded, we've already passed the first stretch goal. And I think it's been 2 days. Yeah, it's been 2 days. And issue 7 is already done. It is a double issue at 38 story pages. That comes out October 3rd, and it is the last issue in book 1. And our hardcover is being made too. In issue in issue 7, all everything is answered, and then 100 more questions are created. So, but there's a lot that happens in issue 7. Even my editor, who loves the story, was like, "Holy crap, this is great!" I was like, "I know." That it's just such a good story, and I can't wait to have the hardcover, because I don't know, anyone can make a floppy, but to have it, it's gonna be 228 pages. And it's going to be issues 1 through 7. And I'm just so excited to have it. And then issue 8, or chapter 1 of book 2, starts January 23rd. And the cover was penciled today. And I have to send you that, because it is a phenomenal cover. And it's got zombies on it, which is like my favorite. So, yeah.
So this drawing, the art style, have you ever read the book series called Fables?
No. Is it good?
It's good. It's, if you like fairy tales and drama, I would recommend it. There is some gore in it, but it's really good.
I hate
but that's
gore.
what the art style that's what the art style reminded me of. And so hearing you say about the hardcovers, I'm like thinking about all of my Fables books upstairs that I transitioned from my paperbacks to the hardcovers, because I hate traveling with paperbacks. Like,
Yeah.
I hate it, because I'm always afraid they're going to get damaged, and I can just throw the hardback in there, and it can take a lot of abuse.
Oh, I and the hardcover. So, you haven't seen issue 4 yet. I should have sent you more. I figured if you liked them, you would mention it, or I'd send you more. But I forgot all about it. That I only sent you 1 and 2. But yeah, so we have 1 through 6. Now issue 4 has a DC artist cover. It has Anubis, very creepy looking zombified Anubis. The artist is Ken Hunt, who worked on Batman, Superman, Harley Quinn, all of those. And his
Someone
color.
just got bug-eyed.
Huh?
Someone just got bug-eyed.
And it's colored by the current internal colorist for Lady Death Universe. And it's the most popular cover that I've ever had. And the two of them are making the cover for the hardcover. So the cover is already penciled and inked. We're just waiting for the colors to get back. Because CC Dela Cruz is super busy. And I try to be as patient as possible, because I'm like, I am not worthy of your coloring. So yeah, I can't wait to get that. But yeah.
Yeah, I love hardcovers. I don't want to say I collect them, but I kind of do, very much so. Yeah. Because when it comes to screens, I feel like I love having the actual feeling of the paperback or the hardcover in my hands. But back to what you said before of you write for Sarah and somebody else writes for Draven. Are you guys in the same room while you guys do that? Or do you write what you think you're going to write and you're like, hey, this is what I said? So how does that work?
So I lead the story. We'll talk out ideas when we have them, but generally I don't know what I'm writing when I sit down. So I'll sit down and I'll write until I find it's usually between, I mean, it could be anywhere between 3 and 8,000 words. I think the ending of book 5 of the spinoff was 8.5 thousand words. So it depends how crazy I get. So I'll write the story, and while I'm writing it, I'm writing like they're both there, but I don't speak for Draven. I don't put any thoughts in for Draven. So Seraphina will talk to Draven, and I won't get any response. So I will talk regularly through it. And then when my co-writer writes it, my co-writer writes the exact same chapter that I wrote, but in the eyes of Draven. So now you see 2 points of view. Like you see what Draven sees, you see any fighting he does, any thoughts he has. He'll answer her questions and then, you know, all that stuff. So generally, no, my co-writer has no idea what's going to happen. We're not in the same room. We're actually 90 minutes apart, which I still go there like once a month. But sometimes I don't know what's going to be written, and my co-writer doesn't know what's going to be written. I sometimes don't even know when I'm writing it. Like I actually had a argument, and I tell this in every interview because it's so weird, and still I have no idea what happened. I know the characters alive in my head. I'm pretty sure I'm just a prophet of my characters, you know, making me write for them. But I'm writing this thing in I think it was book 5. And she walks in this room and she gets these things attached to her, and it's dark, and the floor is really weird. And I'm writing this. I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense. I have no idea what's going on. I need to start over because I've obviously lost it. And the character's like, no, keep writing, keep writing. So I keep writing. It actually turned out to be an amazing scene. And I still don't know what the hell it was about. And I sent it to my co-writer, and they were like, what the hell is this? This is awesome. And I was like, I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. So yeah, that was the most live the character has ever been, because I have no idea where I was going with that when I started writing it. So yeah. So
So you're up to basically that is released. Is it episode 6? 6 is out, or is 7 out?
6 is currently out. 7's done. But it's not being released till October 3rd because people can't, I don't know if people can afford every month, but right now we're releasing it every other month. So I'm giving them December off too. So they get Christmas off. So they'll get November, December, and then in January, the next book will start. And the hardcover should be either available in November, or it'll be available in January, depending on when we get it, and make sure there's no errors. I do not start a campaign until I have it in my hand. I need to make sure that it looks right, that people are going to get it. When my campaign ends, you will get your book within 10 days and usually 5. I pay extra to get it printed in 6 days, 2 to 6 days. And then I gift wrap them all and I send it out. Last time I think I ordered, my campaign ended at like 4 on a Monday. I ordered it at 5, and I got everything on Friday, and I shipped it all out on Saturday. I'm very impatient, so I just figured that everybody else might want it too. For our campaign, which by the way, if anyone wants to find it, the easiest way, there's links and stuff, but the easiest way is to search Worthy Chaos. It's the only thing, I'm the only thing that pops up. The campaign, you can get issue 1 in both a PDF or as a printed on the campaign. So you do have that option. You don't have to get 6. There's always the back issues in PDF and printed in the add-ons. So if you want to get 1 and 2, 1 through 3, it's all there. We also have catch-up tiers and all that stuff. I am also called Merch Queen, apparently. So we have plushies, lots of plushies. This is our zombie merman, our skeleton bird. And they're limited edition. There's not many of them. I think there's only like 3 of those made and only 1 for sale. So
you should see the back of my car with all my plushies.
These are all handmade. Anubis has his little staff that he holds. And we have a Hellhound being made now that's going to be for the October release.
Dude, the Hellhound in that second episode.
Yeah.
Holy
Wait
shit.
till you see. So there's actually 4 Hellhounds total. The leader got beat up by Draven's father, and then the demon took over the Hellhound pack. So you have this one random Hellhound that just has nowhere to go, no one to be around. He has a broken horn from being beat up. So in 4, don't ask me where this came from, but in 4, he brought a stick to Anubis, and Anubis threw it, and the Hellhound went after it. So Anubis is essentially playing fetch with a Hellhound. And then after that, I just, for some reason, decided this Hellhound's going to follow him around with a stick in his mouth. So in every issue, he's there next to him in the background or doing whatever. And he just follows Anubis wherever he goes. And it actually starts to play out more and more. Like in book 2, Anubis actually kidnaps Seraphina to try to get her away from Draven because he's a demon and everybody else. But he gets busted, and then they threaten to kill the Hellhound, and so he goes back to having to do what he has to do. But you see that Anubis is fighting against the remote control, and his personality comes out a little bit more because he's not bad. He's just, controlled, and he doesn't really talk, so he's kind of, it's kind of like Groot without cool words to say. So
So you mentioned that everything basically goes for you, like you package everything up and send it out. Are there anything remotely down the line of seeing your stuff like in comic book shops and all that stuff, or is everything basically just gonna still run through you and the Worthy Chaos comic shop?
Like I have a few things local, but it's probably gonna stay through me for a while. Maybe I'm thinking the hardcover might be in. I'm gonna see if I can get those. Put that on Amazon. Go to Barnes and Nobles, whatever I can. I think the hardcover would be an easier sell than the floppies or whatever. I've gone to conventions, but I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much hate them. For a loud Italian New Yorker, it's still hard for me to talk to them. When they come to my table, I talk to them and they buy it, and it's great. Generally it's too loud, too busy, too, frustrating to talk to anyone and pitch the story and all that stuff. So I've had very good success when I've gone. In Nashville, I had a huge success. I made like $350, which like was double the table. It was more than double the table and all that. So that was a lot of fun, and they were very receptive. Like all but 2 bought all 3 that I brought. I'm too lazy. I only bring 1 through 3. So they all bought 1 through 3 except for 2 people, and I got a couple of backers that now back the campaign to get the rest of them. So that worked out really well. But generally Kickstarter works so well for me. These interviews are a lifesaver for me because it's a way to get ramble and not have a lot of loud noise in the background. So far it's been the best way to do it, and Kickstarter went very well this time. I'm super pessimistic all the time. Like I'm more like an opti-pest. Yeah. I'm an opti-pest. Like I expect everything bad to happen, but then when something bad happens, I can see the good in it. But generally I think everything's bad. So like, Kickstarter is super stressful because they can back out at any time. The funds might not go through. My very first campaign, a $400 pledge didn't go through. I never got paid for it. The second campaign, $300 didn't go through. And so I kept losing money. Last campaign was really good. So I'm so cynical, I guess is the word now. So this Kickstarter, what we have so far on there is the same thing we had at 15 days last time. Mm-hmm. So it's 15 days ahead. And then my husband's like, aren't you happy? And I was like, they could back out at any time. So like, I'm very cynical, and I'm just like, it's hard to enjoy it. But I do, obviously I stare at the damn screen all day long, to see the number go up or whatever.
Yeah, so for all the people watching, whether it's now or later, we have her Kickstarter down in the description, so go click on it because we need more of this. We need a lot more of this, and also go check it out. It was a lot of fun to read. What, Susie? What do you got?
We need more of this. I need more of this.
Yeah, but I heard you say that about 10 times in the last show already.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna have to send you some of that. I will say, since we passed the first stretch goal, that if whatever tier you will get either the PDF or the printed and PDF. And for the PDFs, you get the black and white version and the color version. I don't know why it became a thing, and now everyone asks for it. And I don't even know if anyone reads the black and white version, but it's there. And but now that you we pass the first stretch goal, not only do you get my comic, which by the way is awesome, just to be biased and all that, you also get 20 other PDFs from other creators. So you get another 20 number issue ones from other amazing creators. For the new people, there's 20, and for returning backers, there are 4 new ones because I like to add 2 to 4 new ones. So for $5, you can essentially get my story and 20 others. So it's definitely worth getting it for those others. Yeah, yeah.
Son of bitch, that's pretty good.
Considering the fact that my husband and AJ can both tell you how much I spend in books a year.
We lost you in Barnes and Noble.
I was right next to the entrance and I sat on the floor.
Walked right by you because we were like, Susie.
I used to do that. I used to hide in bookstores. I used to sit on the floor and read them. So I totally can relate to that. But yeah, I got told I did an interview last night and they were like, your books are too cheap. And I was like, it's not that they're too cheap. I mean, so my comics are expensive for me to print. They're generally $5 for me just to print them. They are 80-pound glossy pages. So they are, and there's not 24. The normal comic is 22 to 24 pages. And the only one of mine that was 24 was issue 4. Every other one is 28 to 36, and issue 7 is 38. So these, and I don't change the price because I figure, yeah, it's not your fault. I don't know where to end my damn story. So, the hardest part about writing it from a novel because I have this, you have to end it. First of all, I have to end it on a cliffhanger because I like to torture everyone. You gotta be tortured. And book 3 is the worst in that because there's every single cliffhanger in every single one. Have you ever played Resident Evil 2 or anything?
I've watched it. I am not very good with playing those games because I'm probably behind the couch pressing just the up button. So when he moves and gets scared, I can duck behind the couch.
That's freaking adorable. You are incredibly adorable. When I first,
I wish I was joking.
No, I know you're not. That's why it's adorable. I never played anything. I'm old, so I played Atari and all that. But I had no PlayStation, and there was a commercial on of Resident Evil 2, the original in the 90s, and it was a crocodile that comes out of the sewer and goes after Leon. I can't even explain to you what made me want to buy it because of this crocodile. So I had to go out and buy PlayStation 1 to rent this game to play. That's how obsessed I was with this commercial. So I'm playing the game. There's no instructions. Freaking Leon just keeps walking into the fire. I can't get him to walk anywhere else. I throw the controller. My older brother comes in, who's been playing Zelda since he was born, picks up the controller and just starts playing. And I got so mad, I kicked him out of the room and I started playing it. And then I was obsessed with it. So then I went out, I bought the game. I bought, for some reason, Final Fantasy VII when I picked it up. And I'm reading the instructions, there's an auto aim. I was so frustrated that there was an auto aim. I played this whole damn game. So that was it. And we have an Easter egg in every single issue. And there's little details that people might not get. So you should definitely read these more than once. For example, the Easter egg is usually from classic horror movie or a 90s horror movie or a show or Resident Evil or a game or horror game, Silent Hill or any of that. The first Easter egg is in issue 1. And it's a crocodile in the sewer to kind of, give homage to why I am stuck writing all these comics. But there's other little details that people don't get. For example, do you know when you watch any kind of movie and they turn on the TV and instantaneously it's exposition? It tells you exactly where you need to go, exactly what you need to hear, and that's that. So for ours in issue 1, after she has a dream and she wakes up, she turns on the TV and instantaneous. It's what you know. However, if you look at the TV, it is not plugged in. The TV is not plugged in. The angel outside the window is controlling the TV, and he hints at it in the next page where he's like, "You're going there anyway." And she's like, "How does he know where I'm going?" So there's little details like that. And if you watch when she's walking into the town at the very beginning, there's a crack forming behind her. She's the reason that the town got closed off and the cracks formed and everything happened before it got merged with hell, which they do explain in 3. But yeah, so there's little details in the background and fun stuff like that. So yeah, read it a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, because now that you mentioned the dude that literally just phased out in front of her,
Yeah.
I was just about to load it up on my phone and be like, she's joking that the TV wasn't plugged in, right? Like, that is some horror ass bullshit. Oh, next thing we're gonna see is somebody else climbing out of the TV, and that's when I run.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try not to do that. But yeah, as you saw the Hellhound. And there's little things that people won't get until they get to like issue 7. But the Hellhound, if you kind of pay attention, leads her to Draven. So the angels and demons want Draven and Seraphina together because Draven has the weapon and Seraphina activates it. So they have to be together for them to activate the weapon, for them to steal it from them. So the Hellhound, if you notice, disappears. And just kind of guides her to them. And then later on, the Hellhounds kind of do the same thing. So there's a reason for everything. And 3 starts to get where you get some hints of what's going on because you meet the angel and demon, which now I wish I gave you 3 because they're actually a lot of fun. The demon is anyway. The angel's serious all the time. The demon's like, sarcastic and jerky, but I love it anyway.
So you mentioned Resident Evil and some of the horror stuff from the 90s. Wow, I'm old.
Me too, man. Don't worry about it. I was born in the 70s. That's good.
So you mentioned Resident Evil and all that stuff. Is there anything else that you took inspiration from, to the characters, to the story base? And because I can see, some of the Resident Evil stuff in there. I've never played them. I've watched them. Actually, I've played 8 up into the dollhouse, and once I saw the little dollhouse, all right, goodbye. Because
yeah.
I could have went with Nicolas Cage altogether, and that great stuff, but nope, they had to give me the dollhouse first.
It's pretty much Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Supernatural in Silent Hill and the Resident Evil world. So all of that inspires it. And Silent Hill is pretty much the town. So the 50 issues is separated into 5 books. So 1 through 7's book 1. They're all connected. You got to read them all. But they're different environments. So 1 through 7 is pretty much Silent Hill town. The town's merging with hell. They can't get out. They're trapped in there. Things are happening that you don't understand. While you're reading it, you're like, why is he doing this? And you find out in 7 why he's doing that. But at the end of 7, they run into an asylum, and now they're trapped in a haunted asylum. Since you're my age, you might know this, you might not. This did not give me inspiration for it, but it reminds me of it. Did you ever hear of a game called Seventh Guest?
No.
You got it. It's very old, but it was a very hard game. And it was all about ghosts being in this. I don't know if it was a house or a hospital. I think it might have been a daycare or something, orphanage. I don't know. But you're trapped in there, and you have to get all the clues to kind of find out why you can't be there. So in this asylum, they're trapped in there. They're trapped with ghosts, zombies, and giant salamanders that are kind of like the lickers in Resident Evil 2. So they try to track them there, and that's pretty much most of book 2. And then when book 2, it ends in a very people are gonna kill me way. And then 3, they're trapped in pretty much Resident Evil 2 and 3, where they're trapped for about 10 issues in this zombie infested city with 2 other survivors, and you don't know where the virus came from. You don't know the real reasons for it being there, and so there's a lot of that going on. And that is my favorite. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but book 3 is my favorite. So,
well, I can't wait to read it. For yourself, making these books, making everything so we can have a lot of fun with them. Is there anything you would like our listeners and our viewers to know about the Redemption Story arc and Worthy Chaos Comics?
Just that it's not just 2 humans, fighting monsters as they go. There's a lot of behind the scenes going on. There's a lot of twists. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of things I wish I can explain because it makes the story 10 times freaking cooler. But it's a lot of action, but it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet in hell. It's not mushy at all, but you got these 2 characters that clearly they're soulmates from other lives that they don't remember. And they were meant to be together. They're part of a prophecy that got screwed over. So it's not just and it is fun. It's a fun, supernatural horror filled adventure. But there's a lot more, world building behind the scenes that you probably won't know until you really get into reading it. I also will warn you, it's kind of addicting. and and it's not just me being biased. I've heard a lot of people
Understatement.
yeah, I've had a lot of people say, where the hell is issue whatever, and why aren't these monthly? And I could do monthly. I just figure no one can afford it, so we're every other month right now. Some people have offered that they want to not wait till January for issue 8. We'll see how that goes, because it starts this week being drawn, so it'll be done in like 8 weeks or so. But we'll see how that goes. I have it set for January. I know people want it sooner. We'll see what happens. I will say that the song and the video, for anyone that listened to the video, that is the instrumental version of the song that was written just for our characters. So we got permissible indulgence to write the lyrics, write the everything, the music and everything. And all the lyrics are based on our characters. The lyrics are in the Kickstarter page. You can get the song as a download for I think like $3 as an add-on. It comes with both the instrumental and the vocal version. And for book 2, we're going to have a zombie version song that they're working on right now for us, so that we can have that. Yeah.
So that literally took us through our whole question list. Susie, do you have anything else for Corissa?
No. Other than the Kickstarter, is there any other way that people can find your books?
So we do have a website. It's worthychaoscomics.com, but I'll be completely honest, they're all the same price, but you get more goodies with Kickstarter. And we have a Kickstarter every other month. Generally, it's either in pre-launch or live, and if it's not, just wait like 24 hours, it'll probably be in pre-launch. So Kickstarter is the best way, but you can go through there. We have a couple of like stickers and stuff, and some you can download the PDFs, the song, and you can get the printed versions. If you join our Twitter, which is it's not Twitter anymore, TwitX, whatever. If you join, it's at worthy_chaos. We have 5.3 thousand followers. We post pictures and pages and covers. And the same thing with Facebook. We have the group. We have a group Facebook page, Worthy Chaos. If you join it, there's like 700 members. Hi, puppy. And we post a lot of things in there too. So we like to keep everyone up to date and included and all that stuff. And soon we will have where you can be drawn in, especially book 3. You can be drawn in as zombies. Pick your death and stagger on or whatever you want. So we're gonna have those options too. And come back just to look at our merch. We have very cool merch. We have zombie merman statues and all that stuff.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I want to be immortalized in a comic.
Well, you can actually still get into 8. So if you did, you could be a zombie. We had the option in the last campaign. I didn't add it in this one. But if you ever want to be in it, it's going to be issue 8. So yeah, you're welcome to be a zombie. You're allowed to pick your death. You get my artist used to be a portraits artist before, Jonas De Costa. So he does really well. My brother gets his head chopped off as a vampire in issue 6, and so does my client and my dad, because my mom made my dad live. How boring is that? But he's killed off screen, quote unquote. But my brother's like, chop off my head. I was like, yeah, I've been waiting my whole life for this. I was like, yeah, why not? So yeah, and then my client's like, you can kill me any way you want. I was like,
how to not offend.
For this, yeah. But no, it came out really well, and now they're immortalized in issue 6. And my brother's like, he was joking, but he's like, I'm handing out autographs of me being in that book. So I was like, yeah, I'm sure that'll work out great.
Dude, that would go on a resume for me.
Yeah,
I was like, I work here. I've done this. Got my head chopped off in a comic book. I've done that.
That is so not the death I would pick for you.
Yeah. Well, as a zombie, so as a vampire, they had to either be burned alive or their head chopped off, and I decided to do both for them. For zombies, you can actually pick your death, and at the convention, people had the most unique ways. But yeah, you especially in book 3, I mean, you can get hit by a truck, you can be blown up, you can be chopped up, shot, stabbed, whatever you want. Squished,
no.
Hit with a crowbar.
Oh no.
AJ's death is gonna go Game of Thrones.
Which way? Because
like,
there's a million of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's concerning. Well, we have your links in the descriptions.
Thank you.
If there's anything else we can add to those, you could just join our group page and just be like, hey guys, look at this cool shit right there. Because I'm a DC, Marvel, Disney nerd, but when I saw these and you messaged us, I was like, I can get into this. This is cool. And literally, I almost missed picking up my wife at work today because I was reading it again. I was a little late. Not a lot late, just a little.
I'm gonna, before I forget, I'm gonna send you 1 through 5, and then you can read those. So there's 1 through 4, and then I'll send. Here's the fifth. Is this fifth? And then you let me know. You're gonna like. I think you're gonna like the parent, the fathers. They're awesome. They just haven't, and especially in 7. In 7, they banter back and forth. Like my favorite line was, the guy screwed up something and it's his fault, and now everything's gone screwed up. And the angel says to the demon, "You know I hate you, right?" And the demon goes, "That's my favorite thing about you." So it's kind of like they just like kind of banter back and forth. So I
That's
like
my
that.
relationship.
Yeah.
I wish you were joking with that one.
So let me see. Hold on, I'm trying to find 5 for you. Also, I sent you the cover for 8 with our
With
zombies.
The black and white look. Yeah, that is dope.
That is my interior artist did that. And that's the pencil version. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've been calling it insanely good, even though I mean that's a pun on it being an asylum. But yeah, I'm trying to find someone that'll animate it because I just want to see like the bullet go through the zombie on the floor and Draven's sword to come down on the. So I'm trying to see if it can be animated. we will see how that goes. But yeah, so let me know how you like 1 through 5. Have you ever seen the show Supernatural?
Yes.
Okay,
Nope.
so you know Baby, right? The car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they steal Baby in issue 4. So they open the trunk in 5 and all the weapons are in there, and they're like, "Who the hell's car did we steal?" So they stole it from a bar. And so yeah, the baby's in there, and that's one of my favorite Easter eggs of the whole thing. So
That's great.
yeah.
All right, Corissa, thank you for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. It was a blast. Never been so interested in horror in my life before. Hopefully later on in a couple months when everything starts to get printed, we could then have you come back and get like a hey, what's up with Corissa, like going on with Redemption and all that stuff, because I just sent her all 5 too, and it literally says red, 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 red. Like
yeah. So I would love to come back when I get the graphic novel. I'm selling it cheaper than most graphic because I know most hardcovers are sell for like $55. We're selling it for $40 because I'm not doing a soft cover, so I'm selling it actually for the soft cover price. So that'll be available. We're hoping November, at the latest January, but we're hoping before Christmas. So when I get it, I'll let you know.
I know a couple nerds that are very excited for it. I know us too, and I see one of our buddies who actually does a lot of our in-house artwork for our episodes, James Fair. He goes, "That's cool. Not gonna lie, definitely interested." So
Good. I'm glad.
So you also, I'll if you ever post something to our stuff, you'll just get like an automatic check mark. So whenever you have anything Redemption or Worthy Chaos Comics, it'll just be like, here you go.
Well, I appreciate the fandom. That makes my day. So
Yeah.
I'll come on the show anytime just because you guys like it so much.
I honestly, when we were driving back from Kineticon and I saw the message, I was like, oh cool, somebody wants to come on the show. Oh shit, somebody wants to come on the show.
And he gets the messages faster than I do, so he's messaging me as I'm trying to drive home, and I'm like, I can't multitask. I'm being attacked by takeout food. I'm being attacked by rolls. This is not working.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
But
Well, I appreciate you writing back because I write to a lot of podcasts and I don't know, like 30% of them will write back, and then like 2 years later the others will write back or something. But yeah, it was nice when people actually write me back and they're like, oh yeah, you can come on the show, and I'm like, sweet. So this is the only way I have to get my story out there, you know.
helps you guys, helps us, you know.
Yeah, win-win, and you get to read a cool comic again.
Yes.
I'm buying.
Yes. Again, In the descriptions are the links. Go check it out. It is worth it. Do it. But for the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, what else do you got, Susie?
I actually have a question for AJ. In 10 words or less, describe these two comics. You got 10 words. Let's go.
So both of them together, or 10 and 10?
Well, you have to describe the series based on what we've read for the 2 episodes in 10 words.
High octane, gory, fun.
Addictive.
On the spot. Very much on the spot right now.
That's a lot of pressure.
Push it down on me. Tried to kill time. Shit.
Addictive.
It is addictive. It very much is addictive. So, addictive. 5 more. Or less, I guess. Can't
You can
get
stop at 5.
a fucking enough.
There you go.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay. And I dropped the F-bomb. Cool. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if you read the inside page of the warning, but there is a lot of cursing in this. I mentioned to you before we went on the air that my mother reviewed it for me, and she said besides all the F words, it's pretty good. I'm probably going to put that somewhere when I sell the hardcover book, just so everyone knows. But yeah, there's a lot of cursing, some gore, and yeah.
Oh, her lash across her back when she went through that fish tank.
Oh man, I just we torture our characters, and that is not the worst that she goes through, but yeah, that stung, and the salt water going in it, I felt that. It was tough.
Well,
that was
like I said,
and then car. Like, come on.
Tonight was a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk to you again, Susie. You all good? You ready to read more?
I'm all good.
Okay, because
Yes.
I'm literally, while we're off of this, I'm going to sit on my couch, throwing on Hulu, and just.
Good. Let me know what
That
you
is the
think.
face he will make while he's reading it.
Yes, because dyslexia is a thing when even reading comics, but it's so much easier with comics.
Yeah, it is. It is much easier. It's in art. I don't know if mine helps it or not, but when it's all capitals, it's a little more annoying for dyslexics because the letters are all the same. But that's why mine has the sentence caps, because it's a little easier for me to read being dyslexic.
Yeah, I noticed that because I was really getting into it, and I was like, I don't feel tired. Like, I don't have to reread this page to realize what just happened again. And
like half the people don't even realize it. In fact, my brother's been reading comic books and collecting comic books for 40 years, and he's like, they're usually in caps. And I was like, yes, they're usually in caps. And it's way easier in caps. My poor letterer hates it because, you got to make sure the letters don't touch. And he's like, this is easier in caps. It's like, no caps. It's a novel into a story. That's why it's a chapter. So we're doing it, and it's easier for me to read. And so far, everyone seems to like it better. So yeah.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for coming on. I had a blast. Susie had a blast. Check out everything in the descriptions, and we will see you next week for Across the Spider-Verse, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.